Hi, my name is Annalise Harker, and I am a senior studying marriage and family studies. And I'm really excited to tell you about some of the adventures I've had this semester as an intern for United Families International. I'll tell you just a little bit about how I came upon this organization. I attended a conference in Arizona with our department, and we actually visited the headquarters of United Families International. They're located in Gilbert, Arizona. And when I met with the group, I was incredibly impressed with the good work that they do fighting for families around the world at lots of different levels. And I decided to join their email list, and eventually my involvement just kind of grew slowly. I published an article for them for the Child and Family Advocacy class, and then also through my work in the Child and Family Advocacy Society on campus was able to start and strengthen some relationships with some of the board members of United Families, and this was a great way to learn more about what an internship would entail and get started on that. And I'll tell you just a little bit about some of the things that I did. My responsibilities, experiences, and contributions kind of fall under two categories, which have sort of become my theme for this semester as an intern. And that is Get Informed, Get Involved. This is the title of an Ensign article that was published in the March 2014 Ensign, and I felt like it just really well sums up my experience. So what I'll kind of do is talk to you a little bit about what I did under those two umbrellas. United Families International is an advocacy organization, so they spend their time supporting a cause or proposal, as you can see in this definition here, advocating for the family, and they do so at local, state, national, and international levels. So I'll tell you just a little bit about some of the things that I did to get informed myself and also to help inform others on different family issues. I worked on a guide to family issues, which was the biggest project I worked on this semester, and I also helped with World Family News, which is a website that I'll tell you a little bit more about later. I also had some really amazing opportunities to get involved. My internship was a little bit of a morphing of several different experiences, and so it was a unique opportunity to see lots of different ways that United Families benefits the world, and also be able to help them in their work at both of those levels. So I'll tell you just a little bit about my time at the Utah State Capitol and the United Nations. These are some pictures of some of the issue guides that have been published in the past by United Families. They have them for topics such as marriage, cohabitation, abortion, same-sex attraction, and basically what they are is a book of summarized research that shows how these issues really impact families and society as a whole. So the guide that I worked on was one for sex education, and this was a really neat opportunity for me to really learn a lot about a subject that I didn't know much about, and to give back to this organization that I was working with, and hopefully many others that will read the materials that I've been working on. I worked on one of these issue guides, and also I'm working to finish some smaller pamphlets that will hopefully be a little bit more digestible for the average reader. This is a quote by Elder Uchtdorf that I thought really applied to my experience with the issue guide. He talks about how we live in a world where we have access to so much information, but not all of it is true, a lot of it is false, and some of it is a mix. And talks about how important it is to be able to correctly discern between truth and error. I read hundreds and hundreds of pages of research, and not all of that research is done well, and not all of it is correct, and so this is a good opportunity for me to learn how to discern between what is true and what is error, and be able to help get that information out to others. And this is just a screenshot of the United Families webpage. The issue guides are actually published online as well to give more people access. There's a link just a little bit further down on this page, and that will take you right to them. This is a view of World Family News, which is a website that posts about 11 stories having to deal with marriage and family, parents and parental rights, pornography, religion and religious freedom and the sanctity of life. And I got to do that every Monday night. I looked for stories all across the web, for stories all around the world that had to fall under these categories, and helped to post those. This is a really fun opportunity to learn more about what's going on in the world and be able to help get that information out to others. And here is an article that I also published. I wrote a number of different articles throughout this internship, and this is one of them. And that was also a really great opportunity for me to hone my writing skills as I sought to be a more articulate advocate. And Joseph Smith said that the exaltation and the happiness of any community goes hand in hand with the knowledge possessed by the people. I gained a really strong testimony of this semester as I saw how much information there was out there, and how sometimes we really are kind of naive about what's going on in the world, and feel, as Joseph Smith did strongly, that the well-being of our society will go hand in hand with how well-informed we are. And then this quote at the bottom is from the article, the Ensign article I mentioned at the beginning, that Latter-day Saints also need to become well-informed so that they can speak up and engage intelligently in causes that concern them. A lot of these causes do concern us very much in the world right now. Now, this is a picture of me at the Utah State Capitol. I had the chance to work with these 4 wonderful interns for 2 weeks. The rest of the interns were there for the full semester, and they will tell you a little bit more about their experiences in more depth in other videos. But I had a great chance to work with them for a while and get a taste for some of the things that they do. One of the wonderful things that I learned was just a little bit more about how the legislative process works and how we as citizens can get involved. It was really interesting to see how much the legislators really do want to hear from people who are educated on these issues, and it was neat to watch the different bills that we followed that impacted the family work its way through the process. Now, this picture in the corner is what we call a green note, and this one here in the left-hand corner is a blue note. And these are what we use to get into contact with the legislators, the senators and representatives. And we use these to ask them to come out and talk to us, and we spoke with them about some of the issues that concerned us and what our position was on them, and different changes that we wished would happen. And that was a really neat experience to, again, be able to learn how to better articulate some of the things that we were worried about and why. This is a blog that we kept. I wrote a couple of posts in here, and the other interns wrote on this blog throughout the semester to update others in the state of Utah on what was going on at the state capitol. This was kind of a crazy experience. We went to Capitol one day, and there was a huge protest that you can see. These blue notes were posted all over the Senate doors, calling for one of the bills that had been held to be read. It was one that was controversial, and we were really worried about, so we were grateful that it was held, but many people did not feel the same way. And then this is a marriage rally that we were able to help support and attend. It was, again, a very interesting experience to see the different sides at work on these issues. And I had an amazing time working with them, and this beautiful lady on the right is Laura Bunker, and she's the president of United Families International. A wonderful woman, and some of the most valuable things that I took away from this internship were my relationships with others. President Hinckley warned that a small minority may make their voices heard until those in our legislatures may come to believe that what they say represents the will of the majority. We definitely saw this at the state capitol, that a small group of people would speak so loudly that those making the laws felt that they needed to get those passed. He reminded us that we're not likely to get that which we do not speak up for. We found it very true that that no voice is a voice of assent or consent in most cases. President Hinckley called on us to make our voices heard, and this was a great opportunity to learn how to do so, even through writing emails and speaking with legislators. This is a couple of pictures of the United Nations where I was able to spend a week. It was a really powerful experience, again, to see some of the different sides at work on these family issues. While we were there, we were able to present 2 different meetings where we talked about different ways that the family can strengthen societies. And we had some of our students and faculty speak at that, which was a really wonderful opportunity to listen to them and learn from them. We also had some materials that we handed out to delegates from different countries. The one on the left is the UN Negotiating Guide, which helps recognize and protect language that is helpful to families and documents to try and encourage those to be used again in later documents. And the book on the right has some concrete examples of how the family can help strengthen societies, especially different concerns that are targeted by the Millennial Development Goals. We're able to give both of these to a lot of the delegates at the UN. And this right here is a picture of me working with a bunch of delegates, the ambassador, several of his delegates, and other staff from the country of Benin. And they were incredibly receptive to our message, and it was a lot of fun to talk to them. And they were thrilled to get the materials that we had for them and asked our advice on how to keep some of the very liberal agendas in our world out of their country. So it was very inspiring to work with them and see just how many good people there are around the world fighting for the family. Edmund Burke said that all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men or women do nothing, and that is certainly true. If this wonderful group of people hadn't been there to fight for what we believe in, then it would have been very easy for a lot of these evil agendas to go forward. President Monson said that as the winds of change swirl around us and the moral fiber of society continues to disintegrate before our very eyes, to remember the Lord's promise to those who trust in Him. Some of the experiences that I had this semester were scary for me. They pulled me outside of my comfort zone as I spoke with legislators and delegates from around the world, people with a lot of influence and power. But I was comforted time and time again to know that we were very much on the Lord's errand in all that we did, and that we did not need to be afraid or dismayed. And there were many instances where I felt guided and strengthened and helped throughout my time as an intern. Just in conclusion, I had developed a lot of skills and knowledge and confidence throughout this internship, but most of all was very blessed to develop some personal relationships with some people that were incredibly inspiring to me. And I know that those relationships and that impact that it had upon me will last throughout my life. I would absolutely recommend this experience to anyone that's interested. I would just let you know that it will change you forever. This internship is an experience that I don't think that I will ever be able to stop being involved in. If you are interested in this, Brother Rarick is a good contact. He is a member of the United Families International Board, and there are several positions within that organization to do different things. If you do love researching, the issue guide is a fantastic thing to do and a great thing to have as part of your professional portfolio. There's an email that you can get a hold of the different people in United Families. It's ufi@unitedfamilies.org. And Marcia Barlow is the one that you'll want to address it to if you're interested specifically in working on the issue guide. So thanks for listening. It's been fun to reminisce some of my experiences. And if you are interested, you're also more than welcome to contact me as well. My email is har10046@byui.edu.